A significant shift in the jet stream is on the horizon, indicating the possibility of a widespread tornado outbreak. As a cold front interacts with an influx of warmer air, we're beginning to see the effects of this atmospheric disturbance tonight, with conditions expected to persist until around 3 a.m. on Saturday. This event poses a real risk of damaging winds, the potential for large hail, and a considerable threat of flooding in affected areas. Residents of the Midwest, Southeast, and the Ohio Valley should prepare for the possibility of severe weather as we transition into the weekend. It's crucial to stay informed and vigilant as this situation may evolve rapidly. Additionally, it's important to note that following this surge of warm air, a significant drop in temperatures is imminent, which will lead to widespread snowfall and potentially hazardous travel conditions. In today's forecast, we will provide a detailed breakdown of all the vital information you need to know about these dangerous storms headed our way. We encourage everyone to stay tuned for updates and take necessary precautions to ensure your safety and the safety of your loved ones. And I want to go ahead and begin with our jet stream, as this is what is going to be bringing on all this severe weather and winter weather as we move on later into the weekend. So starting off today, this is what our jet stream is looking like. Nothing too crazy, really, as we move on into tomorrow. But as this little bit sort of tracks behind, right here is where we will be seeing most of our severe weather, in this line right here. But as we continue to move on later into the weekend, you can see how this sort of high pressure system right here is forming. This will bring the return of winter weather to all of these surrounding areas that will be inside of this right here. So this could bring the threat for black ice, a severe ice storm, and some significant snowfall in all the areas that are in this sort of gap. But overall, our jet stream is not our main concern today. That's where the jet stream starts to change, and that's what I was talking about in the intro. As right here, we will be receiving a whole bunch of snow in the northeast, especially around like the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley as soon as this severe weather event is over. But I want to go ahead and take more of a closer look to the severe weather event that we will be seeing later on into tonight and tomorrow night. Here is our composite reflectivity, as this is how we can view all of these severe storms that will be occurring as if it was a radar that you would see on the Weather Channel, the news, but it goes out further than the ones that you see on the Weather Channel and news do. So right now we have some rain showers beginning to form over parts of New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, and then this system sort of starts to move up to the northeast. But as you can see, a rain shower sort of starts to form over parts of Louisiana, which will then form a storm system that will impact like Mississippi, Alabama, especially parts of Tennessee, Kentucky. And right here is a big threat for this, especially Dothan, as we cannot see right now. But in between Dothan and Mobile, Alabama will be a big threat soon. But as you can see, all these storms really will impact the southeast, Ohio Valley, and the surrounding areas over the next 2 to 3 days. Now I want to go ahead and take a look at our temperatures, as right now we have a massive amount of heat over parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, really areas in the south and the southeast. It's receiving temperatures up to 20 to 30 degrees above average, which is pretty rare for these times of the year. Which if we look up here, we're getting temperatures of up to 20, 30, 18 degrees up in parts of like Wyoming, Idaho, and stuff like that. So that is some colder temperatures up in the northwest and more northern parts of the United States, as we are receiving temperatures up to 70, 75, 76 degrees Fahrenheit in Texas, 60, 58, 70, 56, parts of northern Alabama, 56, Georgia, and stuff like that. And then as we move on into Florida, we're seeing temperatures of up to 70 degrees. Keep in mind, this is early to the middle of January, which is pretty crazy to see temperatures this high in the winter. And we're seeing temperatures of up to 80 degrees in parts of southern Texas and into Mexico. Colder temperatures as we move on up into the northern parts of the United States. Canada is seeing very low temperatures, struggling to get out of the single digits as we move up, struggling to get out of the negatives as we move up into more northern Canada. But around Toronto and stuff, it's struggling to get out of these single digits in Fahrenheit. Up there in Maine's getting some of these 30-degree temperatures below freezing and stuff, which normally occurs up in the northeastern and northern parts of the United States around this time of year. But these temperatures stay pretty hot as we move on into later tonight. But as we move on into Friday and Saturday, as soon as this severe weather event ends around Georgia and stuff on Saturday, this cold air will start to sort of take over the United States, which could bring the return of winter weather for the Northeast and even parts of the Midwest and Northwest. Temperatures struggling to get out of the single digits in parts of Minnesota into parts of Wisconsin and South Dakota as we move on into Sunday. Some colder temperatures will start to take back over the southeast as we move on into Monday, which we could be seeing temperatures below freezing in parts of northern Alabama, northern Georgia, and northeastern Mississippi, as well as the whole state of Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and all the surrounding areas up in the eastern side of the United States. And this does start to move down into Mobile, Alabama. Even Gulf Shores could be seeing temperatures of almost below freezing. Now, Florida will not really get any of this except for up here, which is nothing too crazy. Temperatures right at freezing. Temperatures in the single digits in Colorado as well as Wyoming, Idaho, and areas like that. Overall, temperatures will continue to stay decently cold as we move on into Wednesday. Some heat starts to spike back up in Florida and the southern parts of the United States, especially around California, Arizona, and the border of Mexico. But overall, nothing continues to stay pretty crazy as we get some colder temperatures on Wednesday, so about 6 days from now, in parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at our total snowfall in inches, starting off right now, we have some snow in northwestern parts of the United States, but overall nothing is going to continue to stay pretty hot in the northwestern and northeastern parts of the United States, as we are going to be receiving snow over the next few days. We could be seeing up to 9, 13, 14, 15, 16 inches of snowfall in parts of Oregon, up to 7 inches of snowfall in parts of New Mexico. But as we move on later into today and into Friday, we will be receiving an unnecessary amount of snow across the United States, including parts like the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, and the surrounding areas, which I want to go ahead and take a look at this one part over here in Arizona and New Mexico, where we could be seeing up to 22 inches of snowfall, 25 inches of snowfall, 22, 25 inches of snowfall in parts of New Mexico and Arizona. If we go ahead and take a look back up here in parts of Wisconsin and Michigan, we could be seeing snow of up to 16 inches, 25 inches just as we move up into the UP. But overall, we continue to get a whole bunch of snow in the United States moving on into next Friday. And then 2 Fridays away, this is what the snowfall amounts will be looking like. 24 inches up just off of the coast of Michigan, 30, 40 inches of snowfall up towards the UP. We could be seeing 40 inches of snowfall up to the UP, which is an insane amount of snow if you've ever been trapped in a snowstorm. As well as decent amounts of snowfall in parts of Arizona, like 34 inches, into New Mexico, 24, 30, 27, 32. But overall, we will be seeing a massive amount of snowfall across the United States over the next 2 to 3 weeks. However, that was all we had to talk about today. I will be going live during this severe weather event tomorrow around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time to cover these as they move into parts of Alabama, Tennessee, even parts of Mississippi, and Georgia. You can click right here to subscribe to the channel that I go live on. You can click right here to subscribe to the channel that I just post videos on. And you can click right here to watch where I go super in detail on where this tornado outbreak will be affecting and what the likelihood is for this to make history. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Peace!